All right, we're going to try this again. I tried recording this earlier and the shit just stopped working. So I think I got it now. This is episode 30, Bits for You podcast. Let's get through our sponsors first. So we got Gamefly. We have Loot Crate. We have BarkBox. So you guys are familiar with Loot Crate and Gamefly. And I will try my best to condense that. So you like video games, you don't want to buy them, you don't want to spend $60 or $70 or $100 like sometimes these editions of games that are new franchises or even established franchises. And you have a feeling that maybe it might not be so good. So you just want to try it for a few days, a few weeks, maybe even a few months. Because on GameFly you can keep them as long as you want. You don't pay late fees. You don't pay due dates. You can try out over 10,000 new releases and classics available to rent for your Xbox One, Xbox 360, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 3, Nintendo Switch, as well as older systems. You can rent as many games as you want, get them delivered right into your mailbox for one low monthly fee. If you like a game so much that you don't want to send it back, you can just keep it for a used price. They ship you the original box, and you can store your game in the box. No due dates or late fees. Gamefly also offers the ability to rent Blu-rays and DVD movies for the same price. There's no extra charge for that. To get your free trial, go to gameflyoffer.com/bits4you. Again, that's gameflyoffer.com/bits4you for your free 30-day trial to rent awesome games. Next is Loot Crate. So Loot Crate is very simple. It's a mystery crate that delivers the best in geek, gaming gear, collectibles, apparel, gadgets, art, and other epic gear. For less than $20 a month, you get 6 to 8 items. There's also other plans, like if you want a bigger box, that you're going to pay a little extra, and it gives you more gear, more gadgets, more clothes, shirts. So starting at $20, you get those unique items in a box. This month, the theme is Lord of the Rings, Adventure Time, and The Legend of Zelda. So you're going to get an item from each of those themes. You have until the 19th of every month. So you have until August 19th to get that cool gear of either Lord of the Rings, Adventure Time, and The Legend of Zelda. 19th of the month by 9 p.m. Pacific to subscribe and receive that month's crate. And when the cutoff happens, that's it. It's over. Done. By supporting Loot Crate, you support this podcast. To save 10% on any new subscription, go to trylootcrate.com/bits4you. Again, that's trylootcrate.com/bits4you to save 10% on any new subscription. Enter promo code BRIDGE10 for 10% savings. God damn, that's a fucking lot of shit to say. So I want to thank we have our first our sponsor lets us know if somebody actually signs up, because the only way this works is if one of you guys signs up. So if you guys sign up for either these sponsors that I just mentioned or any future sponsor that I mentioned, they give us a little piece of the pie of that subscription. So because doing this podcast, for the most part, I have to put in my own money. I have to buy in my own equipment. I have to put my own hard-earned cash to buy these equipment, microphones, etc. In the future, I want to do more things, upgrade the equipment, the software, have a handheld recorder so I can go to people, to guests, and interview them at their place or at a place that we agree on. So that way we don't always have to do it over Skype, or they don't have to come to my place all the time to do the recording. And if you guys sponsor this podcast by using one of our sponsors, that helps us out. So we actually got our first sponsor our first listener actually signed up. They signed up for Loot Crate. So I wanted to thank that listener, whoever it is. Much appreciated. Muchas gracias. And now we go to the last sponsor, BarkBox. So BarkBox is similar to Loot Crate. I'll go over those details. So for humans, BarkBox is delivery of 4 to 6 natural treats and fun toys curated around a surprise theme each month. For dogs, BarkBox is like the joy of a million belly scratches. How does it work? You choose your dog size. Small and cute, just right, or big and bold. Big and bold is dogs that are weighing more than 50 pounds. You choose your plan. 1 month, 6 month, 12-month plans are available. You can cancel anytime. There's free shipping. For your listeners of the Bits for You podcast, BarkBox is offering an opportunity to receive 1 extra free month at BarkBox. at BarkBox.com. Every month, BarkBox Paw picks the best all-natural treats and innovative toys to match the dog's unique needs, including allergies and heavy, chewier preferences. All edibles are made in the USA or Canada, and 100% of the products are tested on animals. Our animals, our own. So it's a great way to try a variety of treats and toys from local and small businesses that you may not otherwise be able to find. Each month, the box is themed. It's themed either Pooh York City, Brooklyn Hipster, County Fair. If your dog does not like something in the box, we'll send you something they'll love for free because we're all about dog happiness. Free shipping on all BarkBox within the continental U.S. When your dog falls in love with something from the BarkBox, you can easily find it again on BarkBox.com, our app, or by texting us. To receive 1 free month, go to getbarkbox.com/bitchforyou. Again, that's getbarkbox.com/bitchforyou to receive an extra month of BarkBox for free. All right, that's it. No more sponsors for now. This was recorded on August 5th. Sammie D is our guest. Great person to talk to. She was funny. She is very down to earth. Speaks her mind. We talk about a lot of shit. We talk about health. We talk about how she started YouTube streaming. How now she's YouTube streaming for video games. Now she's focused on health, eating healthy, working out. She's planning a trip, her first trip to America, and how she has a dog. The fun times of walking her dog. We also go to Destiny 2, the Game of Thrones. It was fun having her on the podcast. I will stop talking so you guys can listen.
How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm great.
Great. Thanks for being on the Bits for You podcast. How's your day going so far?
It's going great. Yeah.
Yeah?
Been a very productive day, yeah.
Very productive? Walking your dogs?
No, yeah, that too.
How many dogs do you have?
Just one.
Just oh yeah? What breed is it?
She's a staffy.
Oh yeah.
She's just so annoying too.
Yeah, I saw her, one of your, or him. Is it a him or her? Sorry.
It's a she. She.
She. So I saw her like in this one of your vlogs, like swimming, like in a pool.
Yeah. We she's been doing that for quite a while because it's meant to help like with her joints and stuff because she's got like bad legs, so it helps like build her muscle up. But obviously she's not got weight on her body because she's in the water.
Yeah.
So it's like really good exercise for them. She used to hate it, but now she loves it. You just have to basically chuck her in the pool when she first started doing it. It was quite funny.
Yeah, and let the natural instincts take over.
Well, no, they didn't because she can't swim.
Oh shit, she couldn't swim. She almost drowned.
She's fallen in the river before, and I've literally had to like jump in and get her out.
Oh shit, that's crazy.
She just drowns. She can't swim.
Oh, okay. A dog that doesn't naturally know how to swim. I guess that's common. I mean, I don't know how common it is. I think it's
just her breed because they're not very big. She's only got little legs.
Yeah, she's tiny. Yeah, that makes sense.
They're like even when she goes swimming, she has the little life jacket thing on, so which is adorable.
You put like a doggy life jacket?
Yeah.
I've never seen that.
Yeah. You watch her like her latest vlog. You'll see it, and I'm like, oh, what's happening
here? Oh, it's an actual video. I have to check it out. I haven't seen that.
Yeah.
That's funny. I have to check it out.
It's quite funny to watch. You sort of have to entice her a little bit with toys and stuff to get her to. Well, you used to, but now she don't mind now. But yeah, they just throw toys from one end of the pool to the other, so she'll swim around. Basically, it's quite funny.
That's cool. What So we came into contact through Twitter, I think. I'm trying to remember. Yeah, I think it was Twitter. You started off as a YouTube streamer or Twitch streamer, or which is it, or both?
I first started by doing YouTube, I think. Yeah, and then I sort of got into streaming a little bit, but I've been doing for YouTube now for like over 2 years, I think, roughly. But then the streaming was sort of like not really a regular thing. It was just something I did every now and then. And then I got my capture cards right at the beginning of this year, I think. So I sort of worked on like getting my stream quality better and been very, very slowly upgrading my setup, if you like. But it's it's one of those things. It's not cheap. So
no, it's not. Yeah, I mean, there's capture cards that I guess for every budget, you just have to find the one that has the features that you need or want.
Well, I just did it directly from the PlayStation at first, which it still works fine, and I know a lot of people who do that.
I was doing it on my cell phone.
Wow,
that's how I started.
Yeah, well, that's how I record all my blogs just on my iPhone. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there you go.
I haven't bought like a fancy camera yet. I sort of had the same thought process as I did when I started my YouTube. I was like, I kind of want to see how it goes before I start throwing a lot of money into it. So it's one of those things. Like I do it because I enjoy doing it. Like don't get me wrong, I'm not expecting to like ever make any money from it. I do it because I enjoy doing it. But
that's what you got to do. You just got to do what makes you happy, and if you enjoy it, the money's a bonus, and if it doesn't come, it doesn't come.
Yeah, this is it. But you know, it's the more you enjoy doing it, I think you enjoy it more when you get good feedback as well. Like it's not like even about the money, but if you know you're getting like good feedback and people are enjoying your content, that also makes you want to invest a bit more time and effort into it and money as well. So like my vlogs have started doing quite well, to be fair, like a lot better than what I was expecting them to. So it's something I have sort of like invested a lot more time into that lately than I have all the gaming videos. So it's sort of funny how my channel's just completely changed. Really, I haven't uploaded any gaming videos for
in a while.
Yeah, but that's partly because I just don't have the time to even play video games half the time now, just because working all the time and the whole fitness thing is
that's another thing that took interest to me was the whole fitness thing. That's freaking great. It's really, it's not an easy thing, but once you do it, it's so fucking great. Like I started the whole fitness thing. I mean, off and on, I've been doing it for 3 years. Then life happens. You get busy. You get a little fucking lazy, like I like to call it. And then I just stopped for a while, but then I'm like, you know what, I gotta go back to it. Especially since I gotta fit into a tuxedo in a few months. I got getting married in a few months. All that. Yeah, I know. So so I decided, okay, so like in April we started like juicing, just a bunch of vegetables in the juicer and just vegetables and protein. Like
when you said I started juicing, I thought something else.
No, not steroids. No. I don't do that. Not that kind of juicing. Healthy juice, vegetables and fruit and all that stuff. And I lost like in that first month, between juicing and eating, cutting carbs. Not cutting it out completely, because a lot of people tend to do that completely. You got to go slow, because if you cut it out completely, you're shocking your body, and your body's going to look for that. Your body wants fat, the healthy fat. And if you just cut carbs completely or sugar completely, you're shocking, and your body's going to start absorbing it's going to start taking the fat from your muscles. So if a person's trying to gain muscles, like I'm also trying to do that, it doesn't mix well.
Well, the more you gain muscle, that burns your fat.
Right. Yeah.
Anyway.
Exactly.
But I did like a similar thing. Like I've tried doing it so many times before, like losing the weight.
Right.
and it's sort of been an on-off thing for me, like you were saying as well.
Yeah.
And I've done it where I've tried the whole juice thing. Well, I didn't go the juice thing. I tried the shakes.
Right.
And they worked. Like I lost I'm gonna say 3 stone, but I know
Right.
you won't know what that means.
I'm actually looking it up. I know because us freaking Americans that wanted to use our own system. The rest of the world uses the universal system, and America decided to make their own.
Well, it's probably about 40 pounds, I think.
Yeah, that sounds about right. I'm converting it as we're talking.
And I did that for about a year, as well as going to the gym. I wasn't just relying on the shakes, but
right.
it sort of got to the point where I stopped losing the weight and then started gaining weight, and then I started introducing a bit more food back into my diet, and then that was it. I was just straight back at square one again.
Right.
Probably even heavier than what I was before I started.
Yeah, usually it happens. Usually when you lose weight, at least I've seen from other people and myself, when I lose weight the first time and then I kind of stop, the next and then you gain it back and a little bit extra.
Yeah, but it's not only that. Like obviously, if you cut out food, like as much as what I did while I was doing those shakes, it's not the healthy way to do it. And I learned the hard way. Like I'm pretty sure everybody does, and I think you have to make mistakes.
Right.
Just in life in general, you have to make mistakes really to learn from them.
And
then after that, I gave up because it's deflating when you start.
It's frustrating. Yeah, it is. It is frustrating.
So I started again. I was doing it the right way and exercising and just eating healthy. And I did that, and then I lost another 2 stone. So like it's pretty much what I'd and then like sort of like the back end of last year, just everything fell to shit again. I got sick. I was like passing out while I was exercising.
Right.
So I just run myself into the ground that much. It made me physically ill. And then once I'd stopped doing the exercising, it's so hard to start again.
It is.
So I'd stopped and I just couldn't get going again. And then the eating went after that. And then I ended up putting, all the weight back on. And then I ended up, I split up with my partner at the time. So I cancelled the wedding.
Right.
I had to move back home. I changed my job. And it was just, my life was a mess for the last 6 months. And it's only now I've sort of been able to
go back,
focus on it and, get back into the right mindset to be able to do it. Because as much as anybody can sit there and judge people and think that it's easy to lose weight, you just eat healthy, and it's so much more of like a mental battle than it is ever a physical one. Like, I enjoy the exercise.
Yeah.
It's the eating is the hardest part. Like I can go to the gym, but it still doesn't stop me wanting to eat. Well, just eat normally. Like I watch my friends go out and eat food when they go out, like have takeaways and fast food and stuff, and it's all like the pressure from that sometimes is hard, and the temptation there, and you don't want to be like a party pooper, when you go out with your friends and think, well, I don't want to eat when I go out. Do you know what I mean? Like it's hard.
It is. It is.
It's convenient as well to eat shit like that when you're out, and it's not easy. And I think a lot of people who have never been in my situation, and the same with other people as well, they don't know how hard it is. It's so easy to judge. It is,
but there's a lot of people that have gone through things like you have, not exactly, but sort of similar, and things that I have, and they just don't talk about it. They don't do blogs. They don't discuss it, or even go on a podcast like this and talk about it. So there are people that are listening to this and are gonna think like, shit, that they're talking about and
that was like the main reason. Like I think it was like the second vlog that I put up, and I talked a bit like about how I'd gone through like my life dealing with depression at the same time, and and it was important for me to want to talk about that because I knew how much I'd struggled with it and not having anybody to talk to.
And a lot of people struggle with that.
Yeah, exactly. But I think it's something that a lot of people are still ashamed of and embarrassed to talk about. And
Yeah, it's
I
a
think
thing
the more
that.
people who talk about it, the more normal it then becomes. Well, not normal, but acceptable to talk about it, because there are so many people who struggle with it, or people who don't even know, that it's, why they feel
Yeah,
the way they do.
and I think everybody at one point, at least minimum one time in their life, they experience some form of depression. It's not, and it's something that they can either it can go away on its own, or maybe through by talking to someone it gets better and it goes away. Now, lots of other people have it, for the rest, for other, a severe form of depression that is not easily remedied like other kinds. Is for what I've read.
And it's also the step of admitting that you are depressed, because not naming names, but I have a friend. I know he's depressed. One of our friends even kind of, his wife is a doctor, and she's like, he's depressed, and he's always been like that, and he doesn't admit that he is depressed. So he never actually addresses it. And I told him, look, this is how it affects you, but he just doesn't accept it.
Yeah. You can only really help somebody who's willing to accept it, and wants to help. You've got to want it yourself, like with anything. Like that's what I was saying. Like the mindset of wanting to, lose weight and change your lifestyle is you've got to want it. You can't force it, because it can't feel like too much effort. And it's the same with anything really. But I know for myself, it was something that I'd struggled with for so long. Like since I'm 25 in a few weeks, and I've been really struggling with it probably since I was about 18, 19. So for the bulk of my adult life, it's something that I've known I've struggled with, and but it took me a long time to accept it and get help, basically.
And have you noticed, Sam, that exercising, working out helps with the depression? I've read, and even I've experienced, when I just go for a walk or a jog, like you feel better because your brain releases chemicals that make you feel better.
Yeah,
natural.
massively. Like there's like the science behind it about how it releases.
You're
all
just
the
happier,
and
you're like, oh shit, this is a great feeling.
But then I think as well, knowing that you're doing something productive and doing something positive, like it makes me. It's definitely helped. Like I don't like. It was also sort of, I've just had like a bit of an epiphany where I just sort of thought like I got to that stage in my life where I was really, really unhappy, and I was like, I need to sort shit out. Like I need to, do something, because I don't want to be miserable for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
And I was miserable about, the way that I look. I wasn't happy with like my life in general, like with everything that had happened. Like I said, I went through that really rough time for the last few months or so.
Right.
And I was just sat there thinking, like, at the end of the day, there's only one person who can do anything about that, and it's me.
You.
Like I need to get off my ass and do something about it and change it, because at the end of the day, you are in control of your life.
Yep.
There are still things that happen that you can't control, but there are still, you've just got to make the most of the things that you can. And that was something that I think took for granted, really. Like I was always making excuses all the time.
A lot of people do that. I did that. Yeah, a lot of people make excuses like, oh shit, I don't want to do it now. I'm so tired. I just worked like 10 hours at work. It's late. Oh, fuck. Oh, look at that delicious ice cream. Let me go eat that ice cream. It's so delicious. And then you don't do it. And then you just stay home on the couch.
and then you get frustrated with yourself.
Yeah, you're like, oh shit, I should have never eaten that freaking ice cream.
Yeah.
I should have gone for that 15-minute walk.
Exactly. And I've had times like that where I've got up in the morning thinking, right, I'm going to go to work, I'm going to get home, I'm going to go to the gym, and that's what I'll do. And then I get home, sit down and think, I can't be arsed. Like, I really don't want to go. But some days I'll not go. And then there are some days when I'll make myself go, and I feel a million times better after
what I've done recently with my fiance, because she has a very stressful job, and my job is all right. I deal with stress better, but my fiance cannot handle stress at all. It's just, she's always been like that. Any little thing, it's just very stressful, and then she starts, at times it just freaks her out. So I told her, let's try this. I've been reading that, waking up early in the morning, either going to the gym to work out in the morning before you go to work, or even going for a walk or a jog in the morning helps you, gives you a boost of energy to start the day. And we did that. We woke up early, went for a walk. And for the rest of the day, I was texting her, how you feeling? How you feeling? And she's like, oh, it's great. I feel so much better. I'm not as stressed. So working out in the morning, we just started like a couple of days ago. We're going to start doing that every week to figure out if it works for us, because it's so far with that first day, it seems to pay off.
No, definitely. Like, I prefer doing it in the morning, because I'm tired when I get in from work, and I just think you're less likely to make excuses, and I think you're a lot more energetic in the morning.
True.
And then obviously the amount of sleep you get is obviously going to impact that as well.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really important that you're getting enough rest. But then the only problem I have with that is if I'm at work,
right,
at 8 o'clock in the morning, like I have to like leave at least an hour before that. And then there are some nights where I'll work late.
Right.
So if I'm working late and then back in the next morning, I'm pretty much getting straight into bed and then waking up and being back at work as if I've never left the place.
Yeah. It is a struggle.
I've done it before where I've got up, like gone for a run or something in the morning, got to work and been absolutely buzzing, but because of the kind of shit that I have to deal with in my job, like I basically deal with complaints every single day, all day. So
those are fun.
You sort of come in feeling 10 out of 10, and then by the end of the day you feel like absolute crap.
Yeah, you're drained.
But you just got to wake up the next day and then think, well, tomorrow's a new day, and leave it all behind you, and just think like, when you will have a bad day and think, well, I want to have a tub of ice cream, or I want to have a glass of wine or whatever. And I still do that now, even though I'm trying to lose weight. And it's something I feel
you have to. And I'm sorry to interrupt. You have to. I allow myself one, I guess you could say, cheat meal per week.
Yeah.
Nothing too drastic, just something small. Like, oh shit, I want that piece of M&M. I want like just a few M&M, not the whole bag, just a few. And that's all you need. You gotta trick your mind, because these people that cut everything, and they don't eat nothing. They're nothing junk, no high sugar food. That you're kind of like, that's fucking up with your mind.
You're depriving yourself of what you want, and then it makes you want it more.
You want it more, yeah.
That's something that I've said repeatedly. Like, I've tried doing that way. I've tried cutting out foods that I enjoy, and I'm like, well, do you know what? Like, I'm just gonna make myself miserable, and if you're not enjoying what you're doing, then you're basically setting yourself up to fail.
You give up,
It's got to be something you've got to sustain. So the fact I can't sit here and say I'm never gonna eat another pizza in my life,
right?
Because it's like my favorite thing to eat. Like, I wouldn't.
It's so delicious.
That's not realistic, is it?
I had pizza the other day. So delicious.
I had a pizza last night. You know what?
There you go. See.
I felt like absolute shit this morning.
And it's also about control of portion. Like, I used to eat like maybe like 4 slices. Now I only eat 1. That's it. All you need is 1 slice of pizza. I don't need any more. I'm done.
And I shared it with my mum, and then
you share with people, and you don't need it, and you don't need as much, and you're still maintaining under your calories and your goal. That's what I've learned.
I see.
I felt like crap this morning. I kind of like then woke up this morning thinking I regretted eating that pizza so bad.
Yeah, I was gonna say
I really did, but like it's just you've got to
do it once in a while.
You've got to, yeah.
As long as it's not constant.
Stopping yourself doing things that you want to do, like. That's why I say, like, if I'm going out with friends or something, I won't give a shit about what I eat if I'm out with my friends. Like, I'm there to have a good time. As long as I plan for that and think, right,
exactly.
I'll go to the gym before I go out, or I'll eat really good the rest of the week or something like that, then it's not really too bad. Like, you can't expect to never leave the house and never go out and socialise, because you're just going to make yourself miserable.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not good for you either. It's about just finding a nice balance, really.
Yeah, I was going to say, you need to find... Yeah, you need to find something that's consistent. They can always do, like, I'll give you an example. For like a whole year, I did this. The only reason I changed because one of my friends just stopped going to the gym. But basically, I would go to the gym like 3 or 4 times a week, eat healthy meals. I'm talking about like wheat-based products or protein shake, protein, stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And and then once a week I'll have a meal. That was a cheat meal, and I'll try not to go nothing crazy, but something like pizza or whatever, or cheeseburger, whatever it has to be. And I did that. I lost weight very slowly. I think out of the whole year, I think I lost like 30 pounds. But I lost 30 pounds of weight, but I also gained muscle. I felt really good about myself.
Mm.
And
So Javier, you lost
so
13 kilos.
well, there you go.
Even we don't say kilos.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. So it's like even though it was a slow burn to lose that weight, it was something I can keep on doing. I didn't cut my favorite foods. I know I drastically cut it down to like once a week, but it was doable, and I could do it always on a consistent basis. Now I fell off that because I'm not going to the gym. Like right now, I'm trying to cutting carbs, and that's helping me. And I'm trying to get to a point where I'm losing weight, and then if I'm not losing anymore, I hit a wall. Then I have to change to maybe cycling carbs in and out for the healthy carbs, and that's kind of the phase I'm at. But I know at some point, guys are talking about time for the gym. That's something I do struggle with.
yeah.
As you get older, it's just more responsibilities and.
What worked for me in April was cutting sugar out slowly until I had no sugar intake at all, and it worked. I felt more energetic. I know the negative effects of sugar, what it does to the body. I like to have coffee, so instead of sugar, I was putting stevia or any or other forms of natural sugars. That is not processed sugar, because processed sugar,
get,
yeah,
like, the natural sugar
right.
from
The
it.
processed sugar is completely bad for the body. It just does terrible things. Studies have shown that it even a lot of cancers are caused by processed sugar instead of natural sugar. So I was taking more natural sugars from fruits. Some vegetables have natural sugar, things like that, and it actually worked. No bread, no nothing like carb based, no pasta. Except for those, occasions where you want that. Oh shit, I haven't had that pasta in a month. Let me have that cheat meal. That's fine, but I wasn't doing it weekly like I used to. It's just that's the thing that you have to sort of. Everybody's different, so you have to kind of figure out what your body likes and doesn't like. That's the way with exercise or working
out. With the whole consistent thing too, and dieting. When you go on vacations, that's the struggle.
That's difficult when you're out of town. Yeah.
I saw when I'm out of town, I will eat whatever. Try not to go
You're out of your
crazy.
routine. You're out of your comfort zone. So
yeah, it's
and you
difficult.
go on vacation to enjoy yourself as well.
Right. So like I went to Disney World, and when I came back, I just went back to eating how I used to, and then I'm like, okay, I just gained like 6 pounds. I need to stop, and I did stop, and now I went back down. But then another trip I did like a few weeks ago was New York, and that's another one I didn't fall into that trap again though. I came back and I was eating healthy, so it's kind of you have to learn.
It's funny though, because I've literally last week I booked my holiday and I'm going to New York.
Oh shit,
year.
that's good.
And I thought I'm so excited, but I've thought to myself I've got a year now to lose enough weight, and then I'm gonna get there, and I know I'm gonna put it. No, I won't. I'm only going for 4 days, so I'm not gonna put it all back on. If I did, that would be impressive. But
even then, I can tell you'll be walking a lot.
You walk a lot in New York. Yeah, you walk everywhere.
I've got a hotel with a gym in it, but my friends keep saying, "Sam, you're not gonna go to the gym on holiday."
Yeah, it's difficult unless you wake up really early, but you're gonna do a lot of walking. I mean, it's walking, the subway. An occasional, maybe if something's too far, you'll get a taxi or an Uber or a Lyft. I mean, it's a lot of walking. You won't. It's hard to gain it when unless you're eating. Unless you go to New York just to eat, then you won't gain the weight. Yeah, there's a lot of shit to do in New York. This is your first time? This is your first time there?
I'm so excited.
Like what part of the year are you going to New York? Is it like winter, summer, spring?
I'm going in October. Right at the beginning of
October. In the fall. Okay. Yeah, that's a nice time.
I was told the summer would be too hot and it's more expensive.
Yes.
But it's a horrible hot.
It is
not a nice sunny hot on a beach hot.
It depends, because I just went. Was it 2 weeks ago? I went to New York for a soccer game, and I stayed there for about 4 days. It was hot, but it depends on your reference of hot, because I live in Texas and it gets a lot hotter here.
But
To the
like
point,
the UK is renowned for having the shittest weather in the world.
Yeah.
right? So when you say hot, I don't think I don't think you'll find it that terrible, but it's definitely is
What
hotter.
was the temperature when you went, Javier?
Yeah, I think it's in the 80s.
80, so it was 26 Celsius about. That's not that bad. When I was there
That's
in
not that
May,
hot. Like
yeah.
that. Well, to be fair for us over here, like 26, 20, that's a heat wave for us. To be fair, like I would be out in the garden
Well,
trying to get a suntan.
try going to humid South Florida where the temperatures could read 93 Fahrenheit, 33 Celsius. That's freaking hot.
I know.
Or in
But this is the
Texas,
thing,
where
like,
Javier's
through-
at. Javier's in Texas. What was the temperature the other day in Texas? I think it got to like 105 degrees Fahrenheit.
It'll get that high in
40 degrees Celsius.
Well, yeah, we'll get to 100 and over. Yeah, so.
But this is the thing, like through me doing YouTube and stuff like that, I've met so many friends who live over there. So, you know, it's I've even got a friend who lives over in New York who I've known for quite a few years. You know, so it's like, but yeah, it's not like a holiday where I'm going to get a suntan. So I wouldn't want to go when it's too hot, knowing, like you said, I'm going to be walking everywhere. That would just make me like really tired.
Just since it'll be your first trip, I know Robert's been there, and I've been there. I was actually my third time I've been to New York. Just maybe for you and maybe other people who are going, just to go through a few things, like etiquette and stuff in New York. Because to me, one thing that will maybe you have seen it before or not, but just everybody's always in a big rush. Yeah. And you could tell when someone's a tourist when they just stop in the middle of the sidewalk and just like, oh, let me take a picture
And just look,
but
yeah.
but you're stopping the flow of things, and that's when people get upset at you. So the flow of speed and letting the flow of things going along is a big deal. Like even in like escalators, when you're going up from the subway or going down, just stay on your right if you're not gonna move. If for the left side of the escalator, everybody's gonna just rush up or rush down.
But you know what, Javier? In the end, I've been there a few times, as you just mentioned. Sam, this is your first time going to New York?
Yeah.
All right. So here's the bottom line. What Javier's saying is great advice. My advice: do whatever the fuck you want. Nobody's gonna mess with you. And if they do, you tell them to fuck off. That's it. I mean, New York at times you hear a lot of bad rap like on TV and movies. Oh, people are rude, they're nasty. No, when I've been there, they're so nice. They talk to you. If you could, strangers come up and approach you and say, "Hey, how's the weather? How's this?" And you saw that sports game. You know, they're just random people talking. There's people from all over the world. Just traveling.
There's also people to scam you.
Right, people that try to scam you. Yeah, you got to be careful with the scammers. They see you as an out of towner. They're gonna raise the price on whatever product they're selling. You're gonna see a lot of street vendors like you are everywhere trying to sell you like little Gucci bags. Where they're not really Gucci because they're missing an extra C or they're missing an H, so you can tell that they're made. Black market stuff, but it's an interesting town. Yeah, it's an interesting town. It's not.
Yeah, there are so many of my friends who are quite a bit like, I don't know if they're worried or they're just a bit like weirded out. Like, I'm going on my own, and I'm like,
no, that's fun. I mean, go on your own.
They're a bit worried about me, and I'm like, if something's going to happen to me, it would happen if I was anywhere in the world. Like,
yeah,
no
anywhere.
Different.
Yeah, I mean, the only advice I have is since you're on your own, just try not to go out so late at night. But other than that, if you're in the daytime, you'll be fine. You'll be safe. Nothing's gonna happen.
No, even the going at late night thing, it's like the city where you sleeps. It just depends where you are.
Right, depends on what part.
Some dark alley alone. I don't think you would anyway. But keep it the busy areas.
Like, I'm gonna be like, I'm staying in the middle of Times Square, so you'd think like that's gonna be the busiest place. So I'm never gonna be anywhere where there's not a lot of people around.
Oh yeah, you'll be fine there.
Which I think for me makes it a lot safer.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Like,
with large crowds, you'll be safer. You definitely. Yeah. Obviously, keep your belongings in the front because pickpockets, like in every city. Not saying that New York is popular for them, but anywhere, even down here in South Florida.
I say just
or anywhere.
Scamming in general. Like when I was trying to say earlier, like there'll be people approach you like, "Oh, I need money for gas," or they'll come up with you with some new scheme or like I don't know the popular ones.
The popular
It's
one
like,
is they're giving you records. Oh, I got this new record. Here, listen to it. It's a CD.
Right,
And
that one.
and I'm like,
That
okay,
one.
is it free? And they're like, no, but donations. I'm like, so it's not fucking free. You're asking me to donate money so I can listen to this fucking CD. And I told him, look, I'm not gonna listen to your fucking CD, man. If it was free, maybe I'll listen to it. But you want me to give you money? Fuck that. I gave the CD back to the guy, and the guy looked at me like,
That
all
happened-
fucking crazy. I'm like, fuck
happened
you.
Yeah, I was gonna say that happened to me while I was in LA for E3.
Uh-huh.
Someone did that to me. Where the what's it called where the stars are on the sidewalk.
Oh, the Hollywood
Walk
Walk of Fame, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, I was there, and the guy did that same shit to me about the CD. And I read about that. That's pretty popular. It's also in New York. So there's be things like that where people try to hustle you for some money.
See,
Just
but
don't fall for that.
like I've because I've always been on my own. Like I'm used to going places on my own. Like I've been all the way down to I say all the way down to London on my own. Like I'm pretty much the opposite end of the country to London. Like London is one of our it is the biggest city. I've been there on my own, so I know how to talk to strangers. I know to keep my money safe, and like it's gonna be no different. Like it's just the same but on a bigger scale. So it doesn't it doesn't scare me, and I think it's because I am so independent. I think like a lot of my friends have like not been on their own as long as what I have.
Mm-hmm.
So they would never ever go anywhere on their own, which is why I'm going on my own.
But have you ever?
All my friends are married and shit like that, so I'm just like, okay, just because I'm not like tied down, like doesn't mean I'm gonna let it stop me doing what I want. If anything, I want to do that more before I get tied down and can't do these things, or it's just you've got one life. Just fuck it and make the most of it.
Is this gonna be your first trip outside of England, or have you been outside before?
No. I've been abroad quite a few times, but mainly just to like beach holidays and around in Europe. Like this is my first time ever leaving Europe. But to be honest, I feel a lot more comfortable about going to America, knowing that.
So this is your first trip to America?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Ever. My first trip out of Europe. But I think it makes me feel a lot better knowing that I'll be able to understand what people are saying. I get it's probably like the amount of Americans over there compared to these people from all over the world there anyway. But do you know what I mean? Like the fact that there's no like if I go to Spain or somewhere like that, like trying to ask for help or ask for directions is difficult. But if you go into somewhere where they speak the same language, apart from the fact that you talk weird in America anyway and you can't spell colour right. But
we can't spell color right. We can't spell humor right. There's a bunch of other words that gray. We can't spell gray right. Oh shit!
But yeah, apart from that, I'll probably get confused and ask for some chips, and instead of coming out with French fries, I'll come out with a packet of crisps, as we'd say. But I'll probably make so many mistakes. But what is it? One thing that I really want to try is biscuits and gravy because that sounds fucking disgusting.
I'm not a fan of gravy. Biscuits are delicious. I'm not a fan of gravy.
I don't know. To be honest, I don't know if New York would be the place for that kind of dish. But
New York is well known for obviously their New York pizza. There's a lot of spots that I have to. If I'll find some out and then I'll send them to you on Skype or Twitter. Are you going mostly just to like museums, or do you have any ideas where you're gonna go in New York and while you're there? Shopping. Okay. Just shopping. Okay. You're not gonna do any museums, nothing like that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely.
But your main goal is shopping.
Yeah, but there is 4 days. I can imagine isn't enough to do everything.
Yeah. My fiance told me that you need one like the museum. The I forgot the name of it. There's a museum in New York
natural history one.
Yeah,
the one that's in the movie.
Yes. So she said that one you can go there for 1 day and still not see all of it.
Wow.
Yeah.
You will have.
I've been there. It'll take you several hours. 4 days, you're not gonna see enough. That's why That's why I would recommend what you must do, and then go to that.
Well, she's gonna stay in Times Square, so there's a lot of things to do there. Are you gonna go for a Broadway show, or you don't have that?
I might look at what's on while I'm over there. Yeah.
Yeah. You advice. You might have to.
I've never even done that in over here. Like we have obviously the West End, which is the same thing.
I've heard of that.
I've never done it, and I'd love to.
I haven't done it myself. Each time I've gone to New York, I've been so busy doing other things. I've never seen a show. But one advice:
it's a bit pricey.
It is, but here's the advice that my fiance says. She says that if you plan on going on a show, try to book it now early, because they do sell out quickly, like months in advance at some point, depending on the show that you want to watch.
Yeah.
And sometimes there's a company that sometimes has I gotta ask her what it is so I can send it to you. That you can, it's like a lottery, so they'll randomly pick out people and they'll give you a ticket at like usually 50 or 60% off. So you get it like very cheap, and you can actually might be lucky enough to go watch a show.
That'd be pretty epic.
Yeah.
There's things like that I want to go and obviously see the sites. Like I've been advised to go and see the what's it called, the
Empire State Building
thing.
Oh, the top
the Statue of Liberty.
No.
What is she talking about?
The World Trade Center. The World Trade Center.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I can't remember what
the memorial that's there.
Memorial
the memorial. Yeah. Okay.
I've been to that. Yeah.
I've been there. Yeah. I mean, you can't miss it. I mean, you can't miss it when you walk by it. It's just there. They have a museum, right, Javi, next to the memorial. When I went there, the museum was like under construction.
No, I like when I went last time. I didn't go there. I went there previously when they just started it. I don't remember any. I remember some kind of fountain and stuff.
Yes, there is a fountain. I believe.
Some kind of something about remembering what happened.
Yeah, it has all the names of the people there that were in the building.
And there's another thing you could do that people like to do. I did it last time. So you could there's two options for it too. You could either go to the Empire State Building or you go to Rockefeller Center. It's called Top of the Rock, and basically you can see the whole city from a very high vantage point. It depends on how you want to see it, because Empire State Building is obviously the largest building there, and you'll see it from much higher. But if you see Top of the Rock, I think you get a better vantage point and better pictures, to be honest. But it all depends on your preference, right?
The thought of doing that makes me feel physically sick.
And Sam,
I'm not very good with height.
One advice: stay away from Donald Trump's tower in New York.
No, seriously, they
stay away from Trump Tower. They have it's well protected. Like you walk by and there's protesters there outside saying how much they hate him. And
last time when I went, I actually walked by it. There was no protesters, but they had security armed with automatic rifles and stuff. They are
because he usually goes there. Maybe he was visiting there. He likes. I mean, from what I read online, that he likes going to New York or coming down to Florida on his golf courses.
Well, I'm not gonna tell. They do that regularly, and even in Times Square, you're about to say you'll go there. When I went there one day, there was just 4 police officers. The same thing, bulletproof vest and automatic rifles. They were heavily armed. They were ready for anything to happen. So you'll see some high.
I guess we were all just waiting for him to get assassinated because he's such a douchebag.
That's a possibility. I don't know what people are thinking, but a lot of people don't like that guy. So, we can go on a hours just talking about that. But
New York, awesome, and even for the food, because Robert mentioned booking for the the shows and stuff. Depending on the restaurant, you might also want to book it, but it also really depends because it's so big. There's so many of them.
I would say I wouldn't even know where to book, things like that. I need a list of things of nice places to eat, but I can't imagine. I don't know whether I'm just being a bit naive, but I can't imagine there being a bad restaurant.
Look, with New York and where you're staying, you said Times Square. You just walk a few steps. There's places to eat every 20 steps that you take on the sidewalk. Literally, there's street vendors. There's little restaurants inside of the buildings. There's always somewhere to eat. So you'll either find it. If it looks interesting, you can just walk in, sit down, eat, or even take out your phone and I don't know if you're into reading reviews. I'm not so into the whole review thing. I just like to go and look at it. Oh, it looks good. People are eating. Okay, I'll go in there. That's the way I scout a restaurant.
Yeah. No, I talked to my friend who's a New Yorker, and he suggested a few places. And I looked up stuff myself that's well known, like Cats. Which movie was it? Harry Met Sally. Oh,
you went there?
Yeah, I think it was that. Yeah, I went there. It was really good.
Okay.
I would suggest that, but it's just sandwiches. But it's really good. like I give a comparison here in terms of good versus bad, or what you think could be good or bad. I went to Lombardi's, which is my friend suggested that place. It's a pizza place. It's supposed to be like the first pizza place in America,
Wow.
and and it was good. And then I went to the place. You'll see them in Times Square. They're selling pizza for like 99 cents per slice.
My friend who lives over there said that he knows a place. I don't know. He said it's sort of. I think he lives in Brooklyn, I think, or somewhere. But he lives like out of quite far away from where I'm going. But he said that he knew a pizza place that charged $7 for one slice of pizza, but it was the nicest slice of pizza he'd ever eaten in his life.
Oh
so
yeah,
it was worth, you would pay $7.
You'll find a lot of that too.
Pizza, it was so good.
Yeah, even the 99 cents pizza, that was good. No complaints at all. Obviously, it wasn't like some masterpiece or whatever, but it was good tasting and good for on the run. Like, I'm just walking over here and I'm eating a little snack. Boom,
helps you out.
But yeah, you'll find plenty of places, and just figure out what you want to do, and you'll find them. And since you're only there for 4 days, anyone who's just going for a few days, just figure out the must dos and figure out stuff. Like, I'll give you another like little thing. The Statue of Liberty. People usually want to go see that, but you have to pay for a ferry to take you to the island, and then you can see the statue up close and personal. Or you could do the other option, which is what I did. There's a Staten Island ferry. It's free. It's the city owns it, and it goes right by the Statue of Liberty, and you can see it and take photos and everything. And the whole thing is free, so you don't have to spend whatever the ferries would charge you to actually take you to the island. So it depends what you want to do. And
yeah, you can go anywhere, and especially New York. You can do things on a budget. You don't have to spend a lot of money when you visit New York or a lot of cities. You just gotta plan ahead and plan smart, and you'll be fine.
And maybe learn a little bit about the subway system, because if you're new to it, it was gonna confuse you.
It's not that confusing. I mean, there's apps that you can download on your phone that tell you, okay, I want to get here or there. Okay, take this train, the L train or the M train or whatever train, and it'll take you. I only used it a couple of times. Most of the time, I was just walking everywhere.
There's one thing I'm going to need somebody's help with, is because, like, obviously, if I take my phone over there, it's going to cost me a fortune.
Oh, okay. Look into then getting a phone over here, one of those prepaid phones with a nice little data package. That's pretty much all you'll need. Nobody talks on the phone any days. All you do need is data for texting and internet. And they sell those phones everywhere, even on the subways. They sell it because obviously New York City knows there's a lot of travelers, out of towners, especially international visitors. So they know that their data plans might not work here or they're too expensive. But definitely look into getting a.
Can you just, like, instead of getting the phone, can you just get like a SIM card to put in it?
Yeah, you can do that too. No, they sell that too. Yeah, they sell that too.
That's what I want, because I've got like a.
Look, you can even look into it where you are in the UK. They sell it. I've known people that said that they sell it in some shops in the UK, and they can put the SIM card. Yeah, they can put the SIM card there, or actually. They don't put it there, but when they land in America, then they switch the SIM cards, but they buy it in the UK. Yeah, just look into that. You might have better luck there.
Yeah, I would just research. I'm sure someone has posted somewhere, good tips on about cellular use if you're an international traveler.
Google is your friend when you're traveling. Just Google all that shit, and most times you'll see like some website or some post of people having similar experiences with SIM cards and whatnot.
Even Google, like even Google Maps, that will help you a lot with the trains.
Oh yeah, Google Maps when you're using Google Maps on your phone, it tells you what train to take. When is it? How long do you have to wait for the train? It's pretty accurate.
Wow.
Yeah, they've done a lot with the transportation system over there. So since you were talking about the UK, what part of the UK did you grow up in?
It's sort of like in the middle.
Yeah.
Like, obviously I'm nowhere near London. Like, I'm quite a bit further up north than that. I'm probably like 100 miles north of London. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What town is that?
Sort of like near Sheffield. Kind of. That's probably the biggest city nearest to me that anybody would ever know the name of. Which is where I sort of lived near before I moved back here, where I live with my parents. So.
Oh, okay. So you mostly
Nothing exciting goes on this far up north. Ever.
All right. And so you mostly live there in the UK all your life?
Yeah, pretty much. Like I've moved a few times, but like where when I moved to Sheffield before, I was there for about a year or so. So it wasn't. I've never like moved out permanently. I've always ended up having to come back for one thing or another.
That's not bad. That's good. I've actually wanted to go to the UK. That's one of my destinations to travel to. A few years ago, I was close to going to Ireland, but that didn't work out. So that's still on my list.
Even I've never been to Ireland, but I really want to go. I've heard that it can be quite expensive.
Yes, I've heard that
when
too.
you get over there for like food and drink and stuff.
I just want to do the Game of Thrones tour over there.
I feel like I'm the only person in the world who doesn't watch it. Like, really?
Oh, you don't watch Game of Thrones?
No.
My fiance doesn't watch it, so there you go.
Oh, well, there we go then. Like my friends talk about it all the time.
My fiance has never. My fiance hasn't watched it either.
I tried watching it, and within the first half hour, I'd seen blowjobs, boobs, and then
yeah, killed. It's HBO. They try to catch you with the first season of any show, and especially the first couple episodes with a bunch of tits and ass. That's their marketing.
Yeah, that doesn't bother me. Like the sex doesn't bother me. Like it's just like I can't like the politics behind it and shit like that. That's never been really my kind of thing. I'd much rather watch.
It is a very political show, but political in the fantasy sense.
Well, yeah, like I thought in my mind, like it'd be a bit like Lord of the Rings.
No, it's nothing like that.
Not.
Nothing. No. It's like what's happening now, but set in a fantasy realm with tits, ass, and dragons. That's pretty much. There's a comedian that said that. He's like, "Oh, Lord of the Rings. I mean, Game of Thrones is when I watch it, it's just I call it tits, ass, and dragons show."
My friend said that. She was saying. She says, "Why would you not like it?" She says it's got boobs, ass, and dragons in it. And then like politics, which she's into politics. And I was like, well, that sounds great, but people also have sex with their relatives in it, so that's kind of weird.
Yeah. There's a family that does. They're heavily into incest to keep the bloodline strong. That's what they call it. Yeah, it's a lot of crazy shit
they
on
don't
that
do it
show.
for that. They just go crazy.
Oh, they're fucking crazy too.
It's just bizarre, but like a few people said, like it was very slow starting. You have to like sort of takes a while to get into it. And I just couldn't get past the first few episodes.
It does. Once you get past, I would say episode 3 and 4, it gets a lot easier.
That's where it got up to.
Yeah,
I kind of feel like I'm being pressured into watching it. Like everybody talks about it. I kind of feel like I'm missing out.
Yeah, but if it's not for you, it's not for you, it's not for you. I mean, you can give it another shot, and if it doesn't work, you're like, fuck it. I gave it two tries, and it doesn't work. So.
See, the same with The Walking Dead, though. But with that, I really liked that, and I didn't leave the house for about a week until I'd watched all 7 seasons back to back.
All right, I'm gonna.
I thought I would be like with Game of Thrones, and it just didn't happen.
I've discussed. Yeah, with The Walking Dead, I've discussed it on the podcast. I stopped watching halfway. I only saw half of this season that just ended because the show it got too silly. It got too much.
It gets repetitive.
Very repetitive. Too much fillers. They spent a lot of episodes on characters that I don't give a shit about. And I'm like, no, they're just milking it. They're dragging it along. I'm done. So I'm not. For now, I'm not gonna watch another episode of The Walking Dead because I already just put it on my shit list.
Yeah. Like, no, I must admit, like when I watched season 7, I was like, it's just the same shit, but with a different asshole in it every time.
Right.
Somebody dies, and then they take over some other camp, and yeah, it did get a bit repetitive, I must admit, but. When you're binge watching something, it's hard to stop watching it. Whereas now, because I have to wait like when
it airs,
next season start, and then after that you have to wait each week for a new episode. Pretty much like people with Game of Thrones now, I suppose. But yeah, like with that, like I get bored. Then I prefer I watched Orange Is the New Black, and I binge watched that like first 2 seasons. Didn't really watch season 3, and now I've watched from season 3 to season 5, like binge watched it. That's just the way I prefer to do it.
Did the quality of that show take a drop because my fiance, I think she said that she watched the Orange is the New Black the first couple seasons, and one season, I think season 3, she said that it just wasn't interesting, so she gave up on the show.
Yeah, that's what happened with me. But then, like, it's got like a lot better, and there's just tits and ass in that as well. So
well, of course,
they're
it's
just
a
little bit more butch looking.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that tends to be it.
Sex dolls,
Since we're talking about that, we're gonna wrap it. We're gonna wrap up this podcast with what we're playing, watching, reading, or listening to. So we just went.
I thought you were gonna say let's talk about sex.
So we went through a couple of things that we were watching and stuff. What are you, Sam? Are you playing Destiny, or did you do the Destiny beta?
Destiny 2.
What a sore subject, man. Like, I had Destiny when it first came out. Got bored of it, stopped playing it. Then got the Taken King when that came out as like the expansion pack. So I then had bought the game and then bought that, and I loved that. I had like a few friends like took me through it, because what I struggled with at first is like I was playing it on my own. I don't think it's a game that you can play on your own.
Right.
So I didn't have a clue like what I was actually meant to be doing. I struggled to like follow it a bit at first. Like there wasn't enough of a storyline in it for me. So then when I got into it, like I had so much more fun playing with friends. And then Rise of Iron came out, and you know we were playing the raid every single week and smashing it, and you know I played the hell out of that game. And then after that, it just sort of got boring, like got repetitive. Less of my friends started playing it, so I had nobody to play with. And then it was back at being boring again. And I played the Destiny 2 beta, and I really like the fact that there's more of a story in it this time. But I am still a bit apprehensive about the fact that, you know what, like, I'm not really big on the whole, I need to get a team together to be able to play a game, because then I think, well, I really want to play Destiny tonight, but I can't find 5 other friends to be able to play it, so I can't play it. It's the most frustrating thing ever. Like, that's why I prefer a lot of the time playing games that I can just play on my own.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, but I love the game though, which is, I pre-ordered it. I'm probably still going to get it, but I just know I'm going to resent paying for the full game, knowing that I can't play half of it without having other people. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's a lot of money for a lot of the content that you can't play.
And then I'm going to actually compare that to like World of Warcraft. Wow. Let's say if you do want to raid, there's even a system where or an organized system that's built to the game that you could actually search for the people who also want to raid, and then you raid, and it's all done very quickly and easy, which wasn't always there, you know. And towards the end when I was playing, they had it, but Destiny kind of same sentiment as you, where I played the single player by myself. I had fun with that, no story, okay, whatever, and I did raid a few times actually with Robert's brother, but that's all I could get to it because I couldn't raid without him. So I dropped the game, and I dropped PSN Plus or whatever. I never even had it since then.
Yeah, I would add the same thing.
So I never played Destiny again. I don't mind raiding and organizing groups and stuff, but it has to be built into the game and makes it easy. Like just like if you play any other multiplayer game online, in comparison, there's some feature that lets you quickly, you know, matches you with other people to play with.
Yeah.
You know.
But then, have you ever like done a raid where you've played with people who don't know what they're doing?
All the time. It is fucking frustrating.
Like, I get why they don't put matchmaking in it, but then I think they've looked into some sort of it's almost like, you know, the site that you could go on LFG where you could find like people who were looking for teams to raid and stuff. They sort of integrated that more like into the game, but I still don't like that, because I don't like thinking I'm gate crashing like a group of 5 friends who just need one more person, and you're going to be the person there who doesn't know anybody else, like, and everybody else is like having a bit of banter and inside jokes, and you're just sat there like, well, I don't know anybody. Like, it's the only way you're going to make friends. But then, like, linking it back to what we were talking about before, like, I get like quite bad anxiety when I come to meeting new people and things like that. Like, I was even nervous about doing this, but so that sort of situation freaks me out a little bit.
You were nervous about doing this?
Yeah.
And how is it? How is it now after you've done it?
Like, massively better, but like anything when you're coming out of your comfort zone. Like
Yeah,
I
that's true.
get to the stage where like I feel sick
Mm-hmm.
and like don't like. I started my new job, and that was like if I didn't know people who were before, like I luckily like my friend recommended me and said, look, we'll apply for this job together, and that was great. Like I wouldn't have been able to do that on my own otherwise. Though I would never have been as comfortable like starting a new job as if I didn't have my friends with me who I knew previously.
Yeah, I think we all run into some form of anxiety first, depending on the situation.
But yeah, like when I like because I had a few counselling sessions, like with what we were discussing before,
Right.
and even she said to me, she was like, "But that's normal." She was like, "You're not normal." Like, yeah, some people deal with it better, and some people don't have it as bad as others. But you can get like there are some people who can deal with change a little bit better and deal with like meeting new people and who are just naturally confident. But you can guarantee at least 90% of people experience some sort of like anxiety or nervousness or anything when it comes to coming out of their comfort zone. So that's normal. Yes, you might have it worse than somebody else, but it's not normal to like feel like that, and it's not, but I still get like anxious and nervous. And that's why the whole, like destiny thing, like the whole matchmaking thing. And I wouldn't be able to do it. I'm just glad now that the storyline is a lot better to make it a game that you can play on your own a little bit more. Because if it was anything like Destiny 1, then I wouldn't probably have bothered. But I did enjoy the story mission in the beta, was pretty sick.
Yeah.
And the strike was pretty cool.
My brother
Crucibles,
said the same
I
thing.
play like I have no thumbs. And I didn't play much of the Crucible, so... but yeah, the story mission was wicked, so... Like, I'll get the game, but I know I'll get frustrated with it after a bit and probably not play it again. Or not play it as often as I'd like to.
I think Javier's going to get the game.
No, I'm not going to.
You're done with Destiny.
I gave up on PSN Plus. I feel weird about paying to play online. Like, I had, for the longest never paid to play online. I never gone to Xbox.
But you're going to pay Nintendo.
And, Nintendo, at least it's $20
because
like the whole year.
You're biased on Nintendo, sir. It's proven.
A little. I mean, I am a little bit, but it's still. If Nintendo was like, "Oh, it's gonna be $60 a year," I mean, oh, screw that! I'm not playing online with you.
You gotta get off that Nintendo tit, man.
No, speaking of that, though, to be fair, like we got emails the other day saying that the PSN has gone up by £10 a year, which is like 20,
yep.
well, 15.
It went up here. It went up here as well. $10.
Yeah, that's like. But what for?
Just to get an extra $10 from every member. That's all. The greedy bastards.
Another thing that pissed me off about Destiny was how much like people who have been with that game since day one, how much they had to spend over that to then end up with a full game only by the end of it that they were then selling for the price of what we paid for the first game in the first fucking place.
Exactly.
Like they were selling the complete game with the whole expansion pack with Rise of Iron. Everything included for like 40 quid.
That is why I was hearing this topic on another podcast, and I agree with it. And I've done in certain cases with certain games. So The Witcher 3 is one game. I knew it was a long, big freaking epic game. You have to invest many hours in it. I didn't get it on day one. I waited a year and a half until they released the Game of the Year edition with all the expansions for like half the price. And I'm like, you know what? I didn't get a day one because I had a backlog of games. I'm like, I won't be able to play The Witcher 3 because I have all these games to get through first. So let me wait a while. I waited a year and a half, got the Game of the Year edition, and now I have it. So from now on, I'm just gonna do that. If there's a game that I don't really need to play on day one, I'm just gonna wait until they release the Game of the Year edition, which typically big games do have a year or so after, and get it for half the price. That's
like even with like Call of Duty, because Call of Duty was the first game that I really started playing. Even with that game, even the season passes, then like you're spending like, but they only do that once. Oh, but actually, that's a lie because they did the whole Zombie Chronicles thing for Black Ops 3, didn't they? But to be fair, like zombies is all I play on Call of Duty really. So for me, it was worthwhile playing. What wasn't worthwhile was paying the 60 whatever pound it was in the first place for the game. If they could sell zombies separately like that more often, I'd be happy.
You know what?
To be honest, I think they'd make enough money from that because there are so many people out there like me who enjoy zombies more than the multiplayer. I think they would make enough money to release it separately.
Speaking of zombies, you might enjoy this game. I got it on the PlayStation Store, the digital version. Zombie Army Trilogy. Fun game.
I've seen a lot of people play that.
Fun game. You probably seen me post it on Twitter or Instagram. Like I was posting pictures and videos. It's a fucking fun game. All you do is basically it's a World War II era. Yes, they're Nazis. Hitler's there. Hitler turns into a zombie. He raises a zombie army. and
Wow.
and it's just silly, but it's so much fun. And you could even do co-op and play with friends if you meet people or strangers online. And it's so much fun.
Next, they'll do the same, but with Donald Trump in it. It'll be in
Maybe they'll release an expansion pack with Trump in it. Say, no, this is great. This is my zombie army. Leave it alone. That's my terrible Donald Trump impersonation. Don't ask me to do it again. But yeah,
I'm excited to see World War II Call of Duty. So I know, Destiny 2 will just tide me over for about a month up until the Call of Duty comes out. Then I won't be playing Destiny 2 anyway.
Yeah, I swore off on Call of Duty after what is it? Black Ops 1 or Black Ops 2? I haven't played a Call of Duty since Black Ops 2, I think.
Modern Warfare 2 for me.
No, yeah.
Yeah, because it all went to shit when they released Advanced Warfare, didn't they? But now they're going back to boots on the ground and just like a proper Call of Duty game should be.
I just think that releasing a game every year, the quality is not the same.
It's just the same game a lot.
Yeah, Javier and I talked about it before. For example, Assassin's Creed. The last 2 or 3 Assassin's Creed games got worse and worse and worse because they were doing yearly. And it's good that they took a year and a half or 2 years off, and now they're releasing one later this year, which looks interesting. They're doing a prequel, so I'm excited for this. I've always been an Assassin's Creed fan. I just didn't like the last few, and many people didn't because they were just, worse and worse. But
I can't remember which one. I've played one where I didn't even play it because I started it and didn't like it.
Oh,
so it kind of, I've never really...
You probably played one of the bad ones then.
Yeah, but that's the problem though, isn't it? It only takes that one time to pick up a bad game, and if that's your first impression, it's going to put you off the whole franchise, really.
Yeah.
That's why it's awful to release games that are not even finished or still need some work on because people are not going to bite anymore. And I think they kind of kill their franchise. This has happened to a lot of games lately. They release the game and it's not even done yet.
They wait to release a freaking season pass. You see, Resident Evil 7 did that. Literally, that game had been out a couple of weeks, and then they were like, "Oh, play the rest of the story here on this freaking expansion pack." And I'm like, one, that game fucking scared the shit out of me anyway, so I wasn't going to play it ever again. But, why just release, why do that? Why release half a game? That's not fair.
It's the microtransaction.
Yeah, you pay the full price.
Get extra content, or, special weapons or stuff. I don't know, exclusive shit like that. Fair enough. But, if it's meant to be in the game and it's part of the story, put it in the fucking game. Don't rip people off because... games are expensive enough as it is. It's ridiculous.
Yeah,
if you pay full price for a game, then I expect the full game.
Recently, I was reading a couple days ago that the studio that made the recent Mass Effect Andromeda completely got shut down, and all the people there, I guess, were laid off. And now they're opening a different studio. I think they're keeping BioWare in Austin and BioWare in Edmonton, Canada. Those are the only ones that remaining open. And it's just sad because a lot of people had high hopes for that Mass Effect Andromeda. When it came out, it was just a shit game. I'm glad I didn't purchase it. I was very close purchasing it.
A new one? Are they bringing out a new one?
No, they said that they're not gonna do any DLC, no expansions, nothing for the recent one, Andromeda. Completely, Electronic Arts is writing the game off as a failure. It's just a dead game.
Wow. A lot of people have recommended that game to me, though, to be fair.
I don't know. Some people are saying it's fun, but
the Mass Effect games in general.
No, the games in general, they're fun. The trilogy, the first 3. Andromeda, I would even right now it's half price, and I'm not even gonna get it because I've heard so much shit about it. It's not even worth it. And I have a backlog of 15 games that I have to get through, so I don't have the time. I think by the time I if I ever do play Andromeda, it will be a year or 2 from now, so I'm not even gonna bother.
I bought Horizon Zero Dawn, and I played it non-stop at first, and then I don't know, I just stopped playing it. I've got that. I've got Uncharted,
4.
the whole collection
Right.
that I haven't played yet. I bought that.
Oh, that's a
I
fun game.
bought Far Cry Primal. I've not played that. All I've been playing literally recently is just Minecraft.
Oh, Minecraft. Yeah. You're a big Minecraft person. That's good. I haven't played
whole
Minecraft in years.
Whole backlog of games, and I choose to play Minecraft.
Something quick and simple. Sometimes it falls down to that. Like, I have a backlog because
Addictive, that's why.
yeah, I was playing Mario Kart on my Nintendo Switch because it was just quick, simple, fun. And I have all these other games. I'm like, yeah, those have to invest hours and hours. I don't want that. I just want something quick, simple.
Yeah.
That's it. Fun.
Yeah, like lately
That's
I've been
stressful
pretty
playing
busy.
Minecraft.
Yeah, Minecraft. You just pick it up and go. Splatoon 2. That's something I've been playing right now, and I've been pretty busy. So I think I haven't even played like 10 hours in a week. Like I'll probably play like 5 hours in a whole week now, until maybe another week or so before I'm not as busy. And something like that where you just pick up and go. It works because I haven't played Zelda in a few weeks again because I was going to the second playthrough.
Shit,
I haven't played it again.
I haven't played Zelda
it's
like
not a pick up and go.
I haven't played Zelda in 3 months.
Well, you haven't.
You want to know something really funny?
What's that?
I've never played Zelda ever in my entire life.
Any Zelda?
Wow. Nope.
Oh shit! You gotta play Breath of the Wild. I think that's the game that's gonna hook you.
Is that the one that's out on the Switch?
Yeah. Well, if
Yeah,
you're ever able to get your hands on a Switch, you gotta play Zelda.
Oh man, my love for Nintendo stops at freaking Super Mario. Like that. I've never been a massive Nintendo fangirl ever. Like I don't know.
But you said earlier like you were looking at forget which show. Oh, Game of Thrones because you like Lord of the Rings. I think Zelda probably is much closer to that when you think.
Do you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of. Do you remember when you used to play Pokemon back on your Game Boy and it looks a bit like that. I think. Or am I wrong?
No, it's
when I've seen other people play it.
It's
like the style of it.
Yeah, it's kind of like it. It's a role playing game. So but like Javier was saying, it's similar to more Lord of the Rings than Game of Thrones. Javier, don't get us confused.
Yeah, I mean, there's lore and there's I don't know how to put it. It kind of feels like you could compare it to that. Like if they ever made a movie, I would say it would probably have to be something in the same light of Lord of the Rings for it to be successful. Because that's the easiest way to translate it on screen, and it's kind of like that anyway.
I tried watching. Since we're on Lord of the Rings topic, I tried watching the Hobbit trilogy. I forgot a few months ago, and I just couldn't watch. I'm like, it's not the same. Lord of the Rings is better than the Hobbit trilogy. It's not. I even though I know it's Peter Jackson, he came back, but I think he lost his edge, or he was just frustrated because of the whole politics of the Hobbit. He was originally not supposed to direct it, and I think he directed it. To me, it seems like he directed it out of pity or out of like, oh, just let me just get this shit over with, because the original director backed out, so the movie had to start filming like in X amount of months, and he couldn't hire another director in time that knew the material, so he probably said, fuck it, I'll do it myself, even though I did this shit like 10 years ago. So to me, the quality wasn't the same. It just didn't feel like.
I feel like I mean, like Martin Freeman is.
He's great.
Martin Freeman?
Yeah, he's great.
He's a good actor, but
he's awesome in Sherlock. I love Sherlock.
No, it just kind of made it too funny for me, like too comical. Like I don't watch Lord of the Rings to find it funny. Well, to be fair, I did laugh at the first one. The proper Lord of the Rings movies were always funny because the little dwarf in it was really funny.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I felt like it was too forced. I don't know. It just didn't feel. They're good films, but if you can't compare it to Lord of the Rings because it's not the same.
It's something that I cannot watch repeatedly. Like Lord of the Rings, I could watch it once a year. I dedicate a weekend and watch all 3 movies, in a sitting. But The Hobbit, it's not something that I see myself coming back yearly to watch.
No.
I wonder if it's actually the Marvel effect, because with Marvel's formula, you have to include a comedy, even though there's times you're getting serious. You're going right back to the comedy. And
You mean
there's,
humor?
like,
Humor is expected in the movie if done well. Like the example that Sam
but
was
it's-
giving with Lord of the Rings. The humor in Lord of the Rings was done well. It was short. It was to the point. You move on. In The Hobbit, I think what she's trying to say is that it kind of felt forced, right?
Yeah.
and it's no, but I'm still saying that, like, because of the success of that formula, they're like, we have to put more comedy because that's what people want, and that's what I'm trying to say. Like that because of that formula that they see that makes a lot of money, and they're like, okay, we have to force it here, and it doesn't make any sense. Just like DC, what's it called, the Suicide Squad, they did the reshoots just to put more humor into it, and it's like, no, it's supposed to be kind of dark.
The movie was still
Leave it
shit.
as
With
is.
even before the humor was added into Suicide Squad, it was a shit movie. So I wasn't gonna help it.
Yeah, but right, but you know what I'm saying, like, the tone was supposed to be more serious. Like Batman, why you gonna start adding humor to Batman now? You know, it's not necessary in some films. Just leave it as is. They have their own tone. Let it be.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, that's how I felt with The Hobbit. Like, you don't watch it it's not a comedy film. Like, yeah, like the Lord of the Rings sort of nailed it with how funny it was in bits, but
Right.
it's you don't watch it to sit down and think, oh, I need cheering up a little bit. I'm going to watch something a bit lighthearted and a bit comical. Like, no, that's why you watched a freaking Adam Sandler movie.
Oh fuck! I hate that guy. Don't get me started on Adam Sandler. I hate his movies. I think Javier and I discussed it. I don't know how many episodes ago. I don't even know how Hollywood keeps giving that guy money to make movies. I just don't know. His movies.
Back in the day, he was funny.
He was like, Wedding
I
Singer,
haven't
Big
watched- I haven't watched any of
Daddy,
his recent films.
things like that. But I don't know. I'd say the last maybe 7-8 years, his movies are shit.
Yeah.
Javier's a big.
Grown Ups, I never watched that film.
No.
His older movies.
I think I was on a flight and they were playing it on the plane, and I was like, okay, fuck it, it's Grown Ups. I might as well watch it. I'm not sleepy. I really didn't have any material to read, so I'm on the plane watching it, and I was like, holy shit, this movie is so fucking terrible. And there's people fucking laughing at this. I'm like, how the fuck? I don't know. Like it's like childish humor, but I don't even think like a child would laugh at that shit. That's just my opinion. Javier loves
I've
Adam
never seen
Sandler
it.
though.
But he's had a few good films, but to be fair, that was just the first name that popped into my head. But yeah, I'm not a massive fan of Adam Sandler, but I can watch like a few of his, like, is it 50 First Dates? I think is one of his.
That was
really good
okay.
films that I like.
That's probably the last good one he did.
Pretty big chick flick kind of film though.
Yeah, it is. I like chick
But
flicks.
even
Just
still,
don't
like,
tell
that was
anybody
funny.
though. So, Javier, you want to add anything else before we say adios?
You can follow us in Bits for You podcast.
Oh Jesus, Javier! Everybody knows that.
Well, what about our guests?
What
Let our
about Sam?
guests,
Sam, where can people connect with you and follow you?
Oh my days. Everywhere. Like my Twitter is where I'm on the most. It's just at Sammie D, and it's like, what is it? Like, I spell SAMMIE, not with a Y,
Okay.
because I'm different like that. Or you can check out my YouTube. That's the same name on there as well. So hit me up on there. And thanks for having me on.
Oh, very welcome. Thank you for being our guest. I'm also going to include these links to Sammy's Twitter, Instagram, or YouTube on the description of this episode. Javier, any last words?
Bits for You podcast.
Oh,
on Twitter.
Jesus, Javi. Come on. Everybody knows that. All right. Until next time. All right. Thanks, Sammie D, for being on the podcast. Thanks to our sponsors, Gamefly, Loot Crate, and BarkBox. The sponsors' promotions and links are in the description of this episode, so you guys can click on those links, follow the offers in the description of the description of this episode, so you can take advantage of those discounts or free months. And also, Sammie D's links to her YouTube channel and Twitter will be found on the description of this episode. Please rate and review us on iTunes and any of the other podcast apps that allow you to review us. But iTunes is the one that greatly helps us. If you don't have iTunes on your iPhone, and the iPhone is the Apple Podcast app, you can actually leave a review there, give us a rating, then borrow an iPhone or a Mac computer from a friend and say, hey, I just want to leave the review for the Bits for You podcast. That's it. I'll give it back to you. Write a little review. Doesn't have to be long. Give us a rating. If you love it, tell us how much you love it. If you hate it, tell us how much you hate it. We don't discriminate against hate and love. All right. Until next time.